Welcome to GoTel News. I am Ephraim Okmanachi. The headlines. Communities in Jada local government area of Adamawa call for the rehabilitation of collapsed bridge. Chairman Maya local government area in Adamawa says the gunmen that attacked Maya came on foot and motorcycles. President of the Nigeria Union of Journalists advocates specialized training in intelligence gathering for security agents. And Nigeria Handball Federation says they propose Niger State Handball Academy to take off next year in Minna. The news in detail. Some communities in Jada local government area of Adamawa have called on authorities concerned to come to their aid by reconstructing the collapsed bridge linking 6 communities to alleviate their transport problems. The people who said the bridge collapsed as a result of the heavy rainfall experienced this year said they find it difficult to convey their farm produce to the market. Correspondent Buba Muhammad Suleiman, who visited some of the communities, reports that they are in pathetic condition and need urgent assistance.
Among those who spoke to GoTel News are Alhaji Abubakar Shehu MC and Malam Adamu Hamidu, who said the bridge was constructed by the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and since the bridge started developing problems, they started logging complaints but to no avail. According to them, the road links such communities as Sarkin Yamma, Urobukar, Gangiri, Kilbao, Getado, and Nasarawa Jiru, among others communities that are suffering from the nature of bad road network. They lamented that the only road linking to these communities is presently in bad shape.
Wanda ya gina mana shine former vice president na Atiku Abubakar lokacin da yake mulki na shekara ta. Ina kira gwamnati ta taimaka a yi kokari a gera mana hanyar na har ta tafi Kilbawo a zuba kasa duk sauran kolbetoti duka a je a gaggera su har a tafi a samu sauki don kayan amfanin gonan su samu inda zai zo kasuwa a sauki.
Hakan dai muke lallabawa amma mota mai kyau dai ba zai bi ba da babura suke bi su dauki kayan don Allah taimaka duba talaka gaskiya talaka na shan wahala.
The respondents wondered what will happen to them during rainy season without a formidable bridge. According to Malam Adamu Hamidu, these communities are farmers who rely on rainy season farming and find it very difficult to transport their farm produce to markets.
Domin talaka yi zaɓe a bashi haƙƙin sabin da yake so. Bai dace ba a yi zaɓe a hana talaka.
The communities are also lacking social amenities ranging from good road network, qualitative education, good health facilities, and potable water. All these facilities are necessity in day-to-day activities of human life. Buba Muhammad Suleiman, Radio GoTel News.
The chairman, Maya local government area of Adama, Malam Muhammad Jibrilla, said on Friday that the gunmen that attacked Maya came on foot and motorcycles. Jibrilla said that the gunmen divided themselves in groups before attacking their targets. He listed the police station, prison, presidential lodge, area court, district head's office, local education authority, and the Nigeria Customs Service office as some of the affected public areas. The chairman confirmed the death of 2 persons, including a policeman and a guest at the lodge, during the attack. Jibrilla said the gunmen who used explosives engaged in gun shootout with the policemen. At the prisons, all the 35 inmates were released, but 11 of them are so far back or rearrested. He said the Adamawa Police Command Public Relations Officer DSP Mohammed Ibrahim also confirmed the attack and the killing of 1 policeman and a civilian. We lost 1 of our men and a civilian, Ibrahim said. The attack was made in the early hours of Friday. Several vehicles and motorcycles parked at the affected areas, including those of customs and policemen, were burnt. And it has been observed that there are 826 young men and women on the payroll of the Bauchi State Government who are undergoing training in various medical fields in institutions of learning within and outside the country. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Sami Abubakar Malami, made the observation at a reception he organized for 30 Bauchi State indigent medical doctors who graduated from various institutions of learning and joined the state's health sector. Correspondent Aliu Jibo has details of the report.
Dr. Malami told the medical doctors that their appointment into the health services of the state government is automatic, as staff development program, which has been stagnated, will now be reinvigorated. He explained that the Ministry of Health in the state will soon come out with a comprehensive staff development program which is not only implementable but that could be improved upon. The commissioner warned the new doctors on brain drain, recalling that some indigenous doctors who took the decision and left have even become fugitives, now find it difficult to visit home, and even if they come, could hardly interact with friends and colleagues. Malami therefore stressed the need for the present generation of doctors to begin to think on how they can work together to move Bauchi State forward. The occasion, which was chaired by a renowned professor of psychiatry, Professor Abdul Ibrahim, was attended by the permanent secretary in the State Ministry of Health, Alhaji Mohammed Hassan, and the managing director, Drugs Management and Supply Agency, Dr. Adamu Ibrahim Gamawa. Others are Magajin Garin Katagun, Dr. Shehu Madi, Chairman of the Association of Medical Practitioners, Dr. Hassan Mohammed, the State Chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Yusuf Abdu, and Dr. Magajin Achi. From Bauchi, Aliu Jibo reporting for Radio Goti.
The Director General, National Orientation Agency, NOA, Mr. Mike Omeri, has identified Nigeria's cultural diversity as the only resource base yet untapped. He said this while receiving a delegation of neighbor to neighbor from the Northeast Zone in his office recently. According to the DG, great countries like the United States are envious of our potentials in cultural diversity. Nigeria should explore this opportunity to create a pool of knowledge to further our development. He also commended the visit of the neighbor-to-neighbor coordinators for their initiative to partner with the agency to promote peace in the Northeast through dialogue with traditional rulers and opinion molders from the zone. Mr. Omeri, who reminded them that the agency had convened a gathering recently in Katsina State aimed at fostering peace and harmonious coexistence among people, also promised that such events will be staged in the Northeast in the near future. Speaking earlier, leader of the neighbor-to-neighbor team, Mr. Ahmed Lawan, praised the impact of the NOA boss in transforming and repositioning the agency in line with the transformation agenda of President Jonathan's administration. It is no surprise to us that you have done so well within this short period as NOA Director General. You have demonstrated similar quality leadership at neighbor to neighbor, said Lawan. State governments that are yet to implement the 27.5% Teachers' Salary Scale TSS have been warned to do so before the end of next month or face serious industrial crisis. The national president of the Nigeria Union of Teachers, Mr. Michael Olukoya, gave the warning in Lagos. He said that the union had been getting in touch with affected state governments to remind them of the need to respect the agreement they signed with the union and to do the right thing before the deadline. I want to therefore seize the opportunity to remind these governors to incorporate this demand into next year's budgets, because we shall not be entertaining all these excuses for non-implementation come January 2013. Olukoya noted that the union had been patient enough, adding that government must learn to respect agreements it entered into to maintain peace and stability in the country. The union had displayed enough patience and understanding by suspending its recent strike over the delay in the implementation in some states. We only suspended the strike based on the intervention of the Minister of Education and some other concerned Nigerians who promised to prevail on all defaulting state governments on the issue. The union is therefore calling on the affected governments to rise up to the call and do the right thing in order to avoid any further disruption of the academic calendar in 2013, he warned. The president said there was no way teachers would give their best if issues surrounding their welfare were constantly being undermined by some state governments. This is GoTo News. Making the headlines, some communities in Jada local government area of Adamawa have called for the rehabilitation of the collapsed bridge linking 6 communities. Chairman Maiha local government area in Adamawa, Malam Muhammad Jibrilla, said the gunmen that attacked Maiha came on foot and motorcycles. There are more stories when we return.
GoTel News, in-depth, analytical,
educative, informative,
factual, accurate,
balanced, objective, reliable source.
GoTel News, stories that make headlines.
Welcome back. The president of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Malam Muhammad Garba, has advocated specialized training in intelligence gathering for security agents in the country. He explained that this would enable them to tackle the menace of terrorism in parts of the country. Garba made the call in Abuja while briefing newsmen on how the nation fared in 2012 and expectations for 2013. He pointed out that insecurity, unemployment and scarcity of petroleum products were some of the problems that government at all levels had been unable to tackle effectively. He said the crisis in the sector would continue unless the magnitude of corruption in the system was reduced or eliminated. We are worried and alarmed that this issue of corruption in the oil industry is now scientifically politicized, he said. The NUJ president, who commended the National Assembly for its prompt passage of the 2013 appropriation bill, said this would put pressure on the executives to implement the budget. He said there was the poor implementation of the 2012 budget and appealed to the executive to eliminate all bottlenecks that could hamper the smooth implementation of the 2013 budget. On the arrest of some journalists by the Department of State Security, Garba said the union had started negotiations with it for their prompt release. He assured the families of the detained journalists and their colleagues that they were safe and would be released as soon as the agency completed its investigation. He appealed to journalists to be cautious with their reportage, saying that the interest of the nation should surpass any personal gain. Former Director General, Nigeria Television Authority (NTA), Dr. Tony Iradia, has identified self-censorship as a militating factor in journalism practice. Iradia made the observation in Osogbo during a question